Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is October 15th, 2022. It's on Saturday. It's sunny outside. Legislation. Law. Legislation. The bill will be passed into law at today's night session, according to the information. The Diet House will legislate soon regarding the matter. The Diet House will legislate regarding the matter, on the matter, with respect to the matter, with regard to the matter, in respect to the matter, in regard to the matter, in relation to the matter, with relation to the matter. Legislate, 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 legislate. In order to crack down on the matter, the government will legislate. In order to crack down on the issues, the government will legislate. In order to keep the safety, the government will legislate. The Diet House will legislate. Legislate. So as to keep the safety, the Diet House will legislate. To keep the security, orders. In order to maintain the correct orders, the Diet House will legislate. 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 In order to keep the safety, the Diet House will legislate. 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 According to the information and public opinions and the public polls, the Diet House will pass the bill into law The Diet House will legislate. 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 Legislate. The Diet House should legislate in order to crack down on the new crimes. Legislating can be delayed. The speed of legislating sometimes cannot catch up with the speed of the crimes, new crimes. The speed of legislating sometimes or often cannot catch up with the speed of new types of crimes. Legislative. Legislative building. Legislative problems. Legislative issues. Legislative matter. Legislative things. Legislative staff. Legislative. 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 Legislative administration and judiciary. Legislative. 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 The Diet House has the right, only right, to legislate. The Diet House has a legislative right. The Diet House has the legislative right. Right. The Diet House has the legislative right. Legislative. The Diet House has a legislative right. Legislative. The Diet House has a legislative right. Legislative. The Diet House has the legislative right. Legislative right. Legislative right. Legislative right. Legislative right. Legislative right. Legislative. The Diet House has a legislative right. Legislative. No one is as familiar with legislative staff as him. No other people in this class as familiar with legislative staff as him. Legislative. 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 The Diet House has a legislative right. The Diet House has a legislative right. Only the Diet House has a legislative right. Legislative right. Legislative building. Legislative. 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 The Diet House has a legislative right. Legislative. Legislative. It is one of the legislative procedures. There are some steps to the bill to be legislated, enacted. There are some procedures and steps until the bill is enacted. There are some procedures and steps until the bill is enacted. There are some steps and procedures, and all of them must be met for the bill to be enacted. Legislative. Legislative. Legislator. Do you want to be a legislator? Do you want to be a legislator? Are you acquainted with someone, a legislator? Are you acquainted with 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 a legislator? Legislator. 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 Do you want to be a legislator? The association had a opportunity to discuss the matter with a legislator. The executives of the association had the opportunity to discuss the matter with some legislators. Legislator. 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 The executives of the association met some legislators to discuss the matter, decreasing number of foreign tourists. The association met the legislator to discuss the matters of decreasing number of foreign visitors. Legislator. Legislator. The head of association met the legislator to discuss the problem of decreasing number of tourists. Legislator. What is your philosophy in your life? What is the most important thing in your life? What is the factor to choose something for you? What is the factor? What are the factors when you decide something? What are the factors? What is the factor, or what are the factors when you decide something? What is the criteria? Criteria when you decide something. What is your criteria? Criteria when you decide something. What is your criteria? Criteria when you decide something. Philosophy. Practical philosophy. Practical philosophy. Practical philosophy. Practical philosophy. 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 Can I know your philosophy about life? His philosophy is that honesty will pay off in the long run. His philosophy is that honesty will make good in the long run. His philosophy and belief is that honesty will pay off in the long run. Philosophical. I saw many philosophical books in his room. There were many collection of philosophical books in the library. Philosophical. I was surprised at the number of philosophical books in the bookshelf. I was mesmerized. I was surprised at the number of philosophical books in the bookshelves. The bookshelf was much higher than my height. It reached to the roof. It reached to the roof. Philosophical. Philosopher. Are you interested in philosopher? Philosophy. Do you want to be a philosopher? When did you decide to be a philosopher? When did you start to have the interest in philosopher? When did you start to have the interest in becoming a philosopher? When did you start to have the interest in becoming a philosopher? When did you start to have the interest in becoming a philosopher? When did you start to have the interest in becoming a philosopher? When did you start to have the interest in becoming a philosopher? When did you start to have the interest in becoming a philosopher? Philosopher. When did you start to have the interest in becoming a philosopher? When did you start to have the interest in becoming a philosopher? When did you start to be interested in becoming a philosopher? At that time, I was not funded at all, so I had to get through difficulties on my own. But thanks to that, I could grow up with hardships made me what I am now. The foundation was funded from the government. The companies or restaurants or shops or stores whose monthly income was under the half compared to that month last year could get the benefit from the government. Those business owners whose monthly income this in the year was under the half of that in the last year, in the previous year, could get benefit from the government. as special as a special emergency benefit after the pandemic. Those stores or companies whose monthly income was under the half of that in the previous year could get the special benefit. Do you think I will be funded? Some excellent student will be able to get funded as scholarship. Some excellent students in this university are funded from the school, which they don't have to pay back. Some excellent students in this university are funded as a scholarship, which they don't have to pay back. Some excellent students are being funded from the school. Some excellent students in this university are being funded. Some excellent students in this university are funded. I'd like to be funded. How can I get the scholarship which I don't have to pay back? I know it's super difficult to get it, but I'd like to try. Where can I get the application? Where can I get the application form? Many requirements need to be met to get the scholarship, which there are some kinds of scholarships, and the one which you don't have to pay back is very difficult to get. Many requirements need to be met. One of the requirements is to be excellent at the academic accomplishments in the university. Some excellent students are funded. Some excellent students are funded. The rich student is funded from his parent. The rich student used to be funded 300,000 yen monthly, and he said the money was his proposal. The rich student used to be funded 300,000 yen monthly, and he said the money was at his proposal. The rich student used to be funded 300,000 yen from his parents. The rich student used to be funded 300,000 yen by his parent. The group is raising funds in order to start the business. The venture is raising funds from everybody in order to start a business in the small village, and also in order to vitalize the small village. The venture company is raising funds from everybody in order to start a new business in the small village. Also in order to vitalize the small village, where the decreased number of people is such a big problem. The venture company is raising funds in order to start a new business in the small village, where decreased number of population is such a big problem. decreased number of population is such a big problem. The venture company is raising funds in order to vitalize the small village where decreased number of population is such a big problem. The funds will be used in order to make the society better. The funds raised from the citizens will be used in order to make the environment better. The funds raised from the citizens will be used so as to make the shopping street more vibrant. The funds gathered from the locals will be used in order to make the shopping street more vibrant. Funds. The venture company is raising funds from everybody in order to start a new business in the small village where decreased number of population is a big problem. I sometimes pour a cup of coffee on my keyboard. I'm sure you have the same experience mistake once. I rarely drop a cup of coffee or tea on my keyboard, but I sometimes do that. I seldom rarely drop water or a cup of coffee on my desk. But I'm sure you have the same experience once or twice. I don't dare to pour such amount of money, such a good deal of a great deal of money on gambling. I cannot pour such amount of money on gambling. I cannot pour such amount of money into gambling. The river is pouring into the sea. The river will pour into the sea, Pacific Ocean. If you walk along the river, you will reach the Pacific Ocean. The duty of the secretary is to pour coffee or tea into the cups every morning and lunchtime. The duty of the secretary is to pour coffee or tea into the cups for the executives. One of the duties of the secretary is to pour coffee or tea into the cups for the executives. One of the duties of the secretary is to pour coffee or tea into the cups every morning. I found the hose. I found water pouring out of the hose, but I didn't know. I didn't know how to fix it, and I was afraid of calling the front desk to fix it because I felt more extra money might be stolen from the hotel. I was afraid of that, so I didn't call them. When I stayed in the hotel, I found water leaking from the house, and the water pressure was so weak. But I was afraid of calling for help from the front desk because I felt like extra money might be stolen. So I didn't call them. I washed my hair with the leaking water from the shower hose. Oh my god. As soon as the pandemic started, many people rushed to buy the masks. Rushed to buy the masks. As soon as the pandemic started, many people rushed to buy the masks. 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 Sometimes I sometimes watch water splashing, pouring from the manhole because of the crack on the water pipe. I sometimes see water pouring from the water pipe caused by the crack. Water is pouring from the pipe. I found the water pouring from the cracked pipe. There was a crack on the pipe, so the water was pouring from the hole. When I arrive at the facility, the sound of the musical instruments were pouring from the wall, so I could hear the music a little from outside of the hall. Pour. As soon as the product was advertised by the famous celebrity, the fans pour to the store. As soon as the product was advertised by the famous celebrity, the fans flocked to the store, pour to the store, rush to the store, rush to the store, rush to the store, pour 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 to the store. So please do not tell a joke while I am drinking something because it might pour. Please refrain from telling jokes while I am drinking because it might pour. It's dangerous, you know. Pour. When I tried to take a shower, the water was pouring from the hose. shower hose. When I tried to take a shower, the water was pouring from the hose, shower hose. So I couldn't wash my hair efficiently. I washed my hair with the leaking water from the hose. I sometimes see water pouring from the hole by the cracks on the pipe. I sometimes watch water um, pouring from the pipe by accident. I heard the news of water pouring from the sprinkler by accident, and musical instruments got damaged. The damages will amount to like a few million, a few hundred million yen, a few hundreds of millions yen, a few hundred million yen, a few hundred million yen, a few hundred million yen. It's huge, and it's even without the private musical instrument. I heard the news of water pouring from the sprinkler by accident. I heard the news of water pouring from the sprinkler by accident in the hall in Shizuoka Prefecture, and the damages to the musical instrument is said to be more than a few hundred million yen. As soon as the product was advertised by the famous celebrity, the fans poured to the store. As soon as the pandemic started, people poured to the stores in search of masks. As soon as the pandemic started, the people poured to the stores in search of masks. I cannot pour such amount of money into gambling. I cannot pour such amount of money into gambling. Water was pouring from the river bank. I sometimes, by mistake, let the kettle acting up. I mean, the water pouring from the kettle by letting it without turning off the switch, turning off the fire. I sometimes find the kettle acting up, crying, without stopping. As I sometimes find water, boiled water, pouring from the kettle by forgetting to turn off the switch, turn off the fire, turn off the gas. I sometimes find boiled water pouring from the kettle by forgetting to turn off the gas. Can you believe it? Can you believe that I passed examination? Yes, I can believe. Because I was seeing your daily effort. No one can such big effort as you. Not many people will be able to make such big effort as you. I used to make believe that I was a hero. I used to make believe that I was a hero when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I often made believe that I was a hero. When I was a kid, I often made believe that I was a hero. I was even practicing Kamehameha or Hadouken when I was a kid. I believed that I could do that with a lot of practice. I believed that I could do that with a lot of practice. Now I know we cannot. It's a fantasy. It's a video game world. I used to make believe that I was a hero or superstar or Superman who could do move attacks such as Hadouken or Kamehameha. I was even practicing how to do Kamehameha or Hadouken, and I believed that I could do that with a lot of practice. I believed that I could do that with a lot of practice. His belief is that honesty will pay off, will make good in the long run. Not many people will believe that I will make good in the future. At that time, not many people predicted that I would make good in the future. At that time, not many people, or 99% of people around me, predicted that I would not make good. But I did. I made it by working so hard on my study, devoting much of my precious time into the study, and I achieved it. Yes. Have you made believe that you are a heroine or a superhero? Some employees make believe they are working hard in front of bosses. Some employees make believe they are working hard, especially in front of their bosses. Employees tend to make believe that they are working hard. Can you believe in that? Not many people will believe in the story. Could you tell me your belief? His belief is that honesty will pay off in the long run. There are many unbelievable things. Unbelievable. Believable. Is it believable? Is it believable? believable? Is it believable that I will pass examination? Is it believable that I will be a Harvester? Is it believable that I will enter the University of Tokyo? Is it believable that I will be an Hollywood star? Is it believable? It is not believable that you can succeed in floating in the air. It is not believable that you succeeded in floating in the air. Is it believable that I succeeded in teleported? If it is possible to teleport, I will go back to the past to restart my life again. Maybe many people will do that, because life is a series of regret. Ideology. What is ideology? Is it like a belief? Ideology. 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 What is your ideology? I think many people will decide something depending on the comments from influential people. I think this is the ideology for many people. I think many people will judge or decide something depending on the comments from influential people. This is their ideology. Ideology. But we should decide on ourselves. We should decide based on ourselves, our own way of thinking. We should decide based on our own thinking, based on our own thinking, not by others. Ideology, 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 ideology. Ideology. What is your ideology? What is your ideology? I think many people will decide something referring to the comments from influential people. Such people will be easy to be deceived. Ideology, ideology. Although Mount Fuji is an active volcano, it does erupted about 300 years ago. But I could smell something very weird from Mount Fuji on my way to the top. Some smoke or something was coming out from hole. It was smelly, but it was not explosion. I'm very pleased with your active participation in the event. I couldn't imagine so many people participated in this event. I couldn't imagine that so many people would participate in this party event. How many active members are there in the association? How many active members are there in the club activity? There are about 23 active members in the club Active. Is the band still active? How can I be as active as you in the morning? I'd like to be as active as you in the morning, but I'm very slow and not fine in the morning. I think not many. I think many people are not fine in the morning. I have low blood pressure, so I'm so down in the morning. Mount Fuji is classified as an active volcano. Mount Fuji is classified as an active volcano. Mount Fuji is classified as an active volcano. Although Mount Fuji is classified as an active volcano, it is last erupted about 300 years ago. Its beautiful shape of Mount Fuji will impress many people passing by. I was one of them. If you take the Shinkansen, I recommend you sit on the left side of, if you take Shinkansen from Osaka to Tokyo, I recommend you sit on the left side of the Shinkansen to enjoy the view of Mount Fuji. Is application your active motivation or passive or passive? Their active participation in the event was ascribed to the participation of the superstar. The employee's active participation in the party was attributed to the good environment of the workplace. The employee's active participation in the party is attributed to the good environment of the workplace. Active. The human resources wants candidates who is active at everything. For example, those willing to clean the toilets, willing to find something they can do without orders. The personal department is searching for candidates who are active at anything. For example, those who are willing to do something they are not ordered to do. Those who have the skill to find their own duties without orders and willing to do that. Is the band still active? Is the band still active? Some animals are active in night, during the night, and sleep in the morning. Are you night owl or early bird type? I can be both. Some animals are active in the morning and sleep in the night. On the other hand, some animals are active at night and passive in the morning. An active member, active, an active member, an active member, active member, an active member, an active. I enjoyed the club activity. I used to belong to the club activity, but due to my tight schedule, I was obliged to quit it. I used to belong to the club activity, but due to my tight schedule, I was obliged to quit it. Activity. Political activities. Healthy activities. Exercise activities. Political activity. Political activity. Educational activity. Club activity. Hobby activity. Mountain activity, climbing activity, exercise activity, workout activity. There are some activists famous in the world. Are you an activist? When did you start to want to become an activist? When did you start to want to become an activist? When did you start to want to become an activist? When did you start to want to become an activist? When did you start to want to become an activist? What is the motive that you wanted to be an activist? What is the reason, or what are the reasons why you want to be an activist? What are the reasons which made you an activist? What are the reasons which inspired you to become an activist? The machine is activated by pushing the button. Many cars are activated by gas. The hybrid car is activated by gas and electric power. Many cars are still activated by gas, petroleum. Many products are activated by electricity. The elevator is activated by voice. Some portable devices are activated by a voice. Many products are activated by electricity. Many products, merchandise, goods, gadgets are activated by electricity. Many merchandises are activated by electricity. Many products 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 are activated by electricity. Voice activated elevator. This is voice activated elevator. Which floor do you want to go? Which floor do you want to go to? Activate. Don't activate the elevator. Don't activate the game. Don't activate the machine without permission from your boss. You need to pass 6 examinations. 6 on the spot. You need to have 6 time on the spot experience before you activate the machine without assistant. You need to have at least 6 time on the spot experience with assistant before you activate the machine without assistance. You need to have 6 time experience of operating the machine before you activate the machine without assistant. You need to have 6 time experience under the assistant before you activate the machine on your own without assistant. I will pursue what I'm interested in. We should pursue what we are interested in. We should pursue what we are interested in. I'm of two minds whether to pursue my career or not. Many people will be of their two minds. Many people will be of their two minds whether to pursue their career or not. I'm of two minds about whether to pursue my career. I'm in two minds about regarding whether or not I should pursue the career or not. Pursue. The police car is pursuing the speeding car. I saw the police car pursuing the speeding car. Car chase. Pursue. 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 I think not many people can pursue one thing for a long time, like forever. I think not many people will pursue one thing forever. Pursue. I've been pursuing my English study since I was 12 or 11, 12 also. I've been pursuing my career. I'm pursuing my English study. The astronomer has been pursuing finding out more things in universe. The astronomer has been pursuing finding out the truth and more things about regarding with respect to in relation to the universe. I bought some English textbooks with the pursuit of the study. I bought some English textbooks with the pursuit of my study. Pursuit. The longer pursuit you will have, the better knowledge you will have, the deeper knowledge you will have. The longer pursuit you will have, the longer pursuit you will have, the deeper knowledge you will have. The longer pursuit you have, the deeper knowledge you will have. The higher you go, the colder the temperature will become. The higher you go up, the colder the temperature becomes. The more you go up, the colder the temperature becomes. The higher I climbed Mount Fuji, the colder the temperature became. The higher I climbed Mount Fuji, the colder the temperature became. The higher I climbed, the more I climbed the Mount Fuji, the colder the temperature became. Pursuit. Pursuit. Many people will go to urban cities such as Tokyo and Osaka in pursuit of inspiration. The artist went to the forest in pursuit of concentration, silence, and peace. I went to the hospital in pursuit of the advanced treatment. I went to the largest bookstore in pursuit of the textbook, which is not sold anywhere else. Some foreign tourists will come to Japan in pursuit of Japanese unique culture, finding out truth behind ninja. Some foreign tourists might come to Japan in pursuit of finding out truth behind ninja, because ninja is very a mystery. My pursuit of English is so long. My pursuit of English study is so long. My pursuit of English study has been since I was 12 or 11. The pursuit of my English study has been since when I was 12. Pursuit. 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 In pursuit of. In pursuit of. The pursuit of happiness. The pursuit of hobby. The pursuit of career. What is the most important part of your pursuit? What do you want to cherish the most in the pursuit? What do you want to cherish the most in the pursuit? The pursuit of family happiness, the pursuit of a career, or the pursuit of a hobby? The pursuit of happiness, the pursuit of happiness. People will earn more money in the pursuit of more happiness. People are working in pursuit of more money. In pursuit of more money. People are working in pursuit of more money. In pursuit of more money. People are working in pursuit of more money. People are working in pursuit of more money. More things. The audiovisual maniac are gathering many audiovisual goods, audiovisual gadgets, in pursuit of better sound. The man who is really into audiovisual is gathering some audio gadgets in pursuit of better sound, higher quality sound, in pursuit of, 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 in pursuit of. In pursuit of, in pursuit of, in pursuit of. I went to the bookstore in pursuit of the textbook, which is not sold at anywhere else. I went to the prefecture, which I haven't been. I went to the prefecture, which where I hadn't been before, in pursuit of something special. I tried something I am not interested in pursuit of something special. I went to Okinawa in pursuit of beautiful beaches. I went to Tokyo in pursuit of excitement. I went to Tokyo in pursuit of excitement. The pursuit of happiness. The pursuit of happiness. The pursuit of happiness. In pursuit of. In pursuit of. In pursuit of. Most of the passengers of the train head for Universal Studios Japan in the circulating line from JR Osaka Station in pursuit of getting to Universal Studios Japan. Most of the passengers taking on the right circulating line from Osaka Station, JR Osaka Station, in pursuit of getting to Universal Studios Japan. Most of the passengers taking the right circulating line from the JR Osaka Station take the train in pursuit of going to Universal Studios Japan. Most of the passengers getting on the train of right circulating line is in pursuit of getting to the Universal Studios Japan. If the train is direct to the Universal Studios Japan, you don't have to change trains. But if you need to change trains, you can change trains at Nishikujo Station for Yumesaki line. It takes about 15 or 20 minutes from JR Osaka Station to the Universal City Station, which is the nearest station from USJ, Universal Studios Japan. What do you think of euthanasia? Euthanasia is not allowed in Japan, but I know euthanasia is legalized in some countries. In Japan, it is not legalized. It is not lawful. Euthanasia is not lawful in Japan as of October 15th, 2022. But I know there are some countries allowing that. Active euthanasia, passive euthanasia, active euthanasia, passive euthanasia. Some countries have legalized euthanasia or a mercy killing. What do you think of euthanasia? There are active euthanasia and passive euthanasia. Active euthanasia, passive euthanasia. Some countries have legalized euthanasia, but it is not lawful in Japan. What do you think of euthanasia? What do you think of euthanasia? Is it lawful in your country? Is it illegal in your country? Is it legal or illegal in your country? Euthanasia or a mercy killing. Euthanasia or a mercy killing. There are active euthanasia and passive euthanasia. Euthanasia, active euthanasia and passive euthanasia. Active euthanasia and passive euthanasia. Are you in favor of euthanasia or against euthanasia? Are you in favor of or against euthanasia? There are active euthanasia and passive euthanasia. Euthanasia is not legal in Japan. It is illegal in Japan. But I know some countries have legalized euthanasia. Do you know about death with dignity? Death with dignity. I learned a little bit about death with dignity from the Modern Society textbook. Modern Society textbook. Death with dignity. Do you know about death with dignity? Have you heard of death with dignity? Death with dignity. Have you heard of death with dignity? Have you heard of death with dignity? Have you heard about death with dignity? Death with dignity. 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 Have you heard of death with dignity? Some people might choose death with dignity. Have you heard of death with dignity? Have you heard of death with dignity? Have you heard of death with dignity? We can choose it. Death with dignity. I learned a little bit about death with dignity from the Modern Society textbook. I learned a little bit about death with dignity from the Modern Society textbook. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you!